Welcome to Food Alchemy Network. You have embarked on a journey of unbelievable resources and talents and understanding. Your body thanks you, your mind embraces you, and all your thoughts are trying, winning, and going into balance with self. Open that portal to the next galaxy, the next universe, the next dimension. Along this trip, our captain extraordinaire is Dr. Cicely B. Angel. Allow her to guide you, introduce you, and embrace our guests with great resources from the unknown to the known to what we thought to remove the illusion that you have about yourself, your surroundings, and your path of the matrix of which you live. Let's go and embark on this journey. Food Alchemy Network. Dr. Stephanie Durant will be coded and included with you along with her illustrious guest that she has presented on this luxury network of Food Alchemy Network. So without further ado, welcome to Food Alchemy Network and welcome our guest and our illustrious host, Dr. D'Angelo. Blessing.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you're ready. You got your coffee, got your tea. What'll be? All right now. So that's one down. Okay. So today we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and how to make it beautiful for you and me too. We're going to discover all kinds of things. We're going to take a wild ride. So I want you to dial that number 563-999-3007. That number again is 563 999-3007. Again, 563-999-3007. So I want you to dial in and I want you to tune up. Get your pencils, get your papers. You might even want some tissues to dry your eyes. You might want to sit down and just relax, put your feet up. You might actually want to call in and vent. You might want to do all these things to make it interesting and pertain to you, because this is a show about making you a better you. Let's go. So without further ado, this is Coffee with Ori, and I am Dr. D of Food.
Hello, everyone.
And this is Ori, and he's got his coffee. See, I'm slacking today. I don't need no coffee. I don't need no tea. I don't got no tea today either. So, but that's okay. I can still be Dr. D with all that jazz.
Amen.
So tell me, how was your day today?
My day was pretty good. It's been raining here all day. It was horrible rain. It's good though. It's a good day. Just horrible rain. I like rain. We need the rain, but not to that point.
Okay, everybody. I want to start this off on a good beat. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing, but this is Palo Santo. And we're going to get all the bad juju and all that other stuff out and around.
Yeah.
And start cleaning.
Clean up.
Oh, yeah. We don't want no caca up in here. No caca up in here. No caca up in here. So I'm cleansing and around. Just swirling around.
I have my own.
All right. See, we don't like clean it up. So cleanse you out there too. This is a heavy show, because when we think of relationships, it's a lot of ways we can go.
Exactly.
And I want to send you on something of a more positive journey instead of a lonely journey or a journey of not understanding.
Or maybe a journey of evolution.
All right, I like that. That'll work. That works. I think we could do that. What do you think? Okay, I want to welcome everybody in the room. I didn't even do that, so apologize, everybody. We're broadcasting on Dr. Cicely D'Angelo page. We're also recording in Alchemy Divine. We're broadcasting on YouTube, and we're broadcasting on Periscope. So LinkedIn, I have to get permission or be a professional one or something, but that's okay. That's okay for the day, as they say. Makes it better, better, better. Ooh. Seems like I'm doing too much. Amen, amen, amen. As my brother Eddie would say, that's his favorite. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Okay.
Amen. Hallelujah.
So I would like to know, what do you think is give me some things you think about bad relationship. What are the signs of a bad relationship in your eyes?
What do you mean? Explain yourself. I mean,
okay, how would you define a bad relationship? Because everybody's definition could be different. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical abuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. Well, what are we talking about? Are we talking about relationships from people from our generation, or are we talking about from our generation, or before our generation, and then after? because you have to put it on categories.
Oh wow, that's deep. Okay, I was thinking of just relationships in general.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking in general, but I didn't think about the age. But I guess in our age bracket and younger.
Okay.
Because you go ahead. I'll let you go because
in our age
I'll say
bracket,
something.
People say that it's often the mother that gets blamed for what's going on. If you're a woman, yes. If you're a man, it's usually the father. And yeah, sometimes it could be the mother as well. I think a learned behavior, like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, women were very submissive to men. They allowed men to talk to them however they wanted. I remember in my household, men used to leave the house. Stepfather used to leave the house on a Friday, come back on a Sunday, and it was like, oh, he was playing poker, he's doing this. And you know what? At that generation, a lot of men left their house on the weekend and they played with their, so-called friends. And, the wives knew that they were having affairs, but they just felt that they wanted to keep the house together. And they felt that the man was not doing anything. They actually programmed themselves to believe that their husbands weren't doing anything. Even if they found something to prove that they were, they still put it in their minds as if they were not. So when you're young, you tend to see beyond that, because we as children are more perceptive. So we get to see. And I know there's children that probably have bumped into their fathers walking around with other women and probably came home and the mother probably said, it's not true. So you grow up with that and you believe that she believed that she deserved that. So therefore you start to believe the same thing. One of the biggest problems that I find with women, even men, in men, straight men, gay men, young kids, the younger generation, is that the younger generation think they know everything. And they know nothing. They think they know everything and they know nothing. They're smart. They're book smart, but they have no common sense whatsoever. So our generation, we believe we were looking for we're the age of Aquarius. So we were looking for the love factor. It's always been love. We want to be in love. And at the end of the day, if you start to add up everything, love does not pay the rent. Doesn't pay the car payment, doesn't pay the electric bill.
Hello.
Now, the point I'm trying to make is this, okay? I would say that 80% of people, or 83% of people know when their spouses or their husbands are cheating on them or are about to. Okay.
Okay.
One is, my advice to people is this, especially women. When a man starts to call you out of your name, when you are no longer my wife, my sweetheart, and you become you're such a bitch, you're a whore, right then and there should never be any in between. Just, you know what? If you become the bitch and then you're a whore, then you know what? Then he needs to walk out. You need to get rid of him, because it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. You can try to go to therapy, but 90% of the time, these men don't want to go to therapy because they're fucking broken themselves. So because they are, then they want everybody else to be broken. Now, if you really look at it, let's look at the dynamic of how it is. I'm talking to you ladies out there, and to you gentlemen who have degrees and are so smart and you make so much money, and you always end up with shit. You always end up with the trash. And these men and women who are trash will break you down until you feel like you are trash. And they'll reverse everything around, and you will say, I love him. Guess what? A vibrator is only $29.99. That's the cheapest vibrator you can buy, $29.99. And I'm sure, honey, that you could do it better than anybody can do it for you. You can do it yourself. So my suggestion, like I said, pay attention to these things. If you're calling a man 5 times a day, first of all, that's too much. If a man is not responding to your calls, then you know what? It only takes 1 second to say hello. And if that person is not even taking the time to do that, then you know what? Then you don't have to put in your mind, oh, maybe he's cheating on me. First of all, if you know he works, and you know he works in a very hectic job where he cannot talk on the phone, have consideration. Know that it's better to talk to your husband during the morning and do everything you can, or your lover, and then speak to them when they come out of work or on their way home from work, and then speak at night, than it is for you to be bothering them. Because if you need to call your man 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 times a day, then you're an idiot. There's nothing about it. You're an idiot. Okay, because there is not that much dick in this world that's that good enough where you have to constantly be on the phone with someone to check up on them. And if you have to check up on them, then my suggestion is get a life. Not his life, somebody else's life. Because the reality is, if you're that insecure about yourself, then there's a problem. And you know what? I base this on not just things that I've seen. I based it on my own brother. My brother's been married 5 times, and he's not the brightest apple in the bunch. But I tell you one thing: he's had beautiful women and very smart, educated women, and he's broken them like a broken doll in a million pieces, and they have never gotten themselves together again. And I don't understand that. Women who have power end up with losers. I don't know if it's psychologically they think that they can heal them. And then but it speaks volumes of them. It speaks in volumes that were they really together or were they really broken, and they had managed to put themselves together, and then they think they have it together. So therefore, every relationship they have doesn't work out when the woman starts to take control, take their power back. The relationship gets sour because the man gets upset. See, there's a lot of things that people don't see. Like when a woman has a child, right? A woman can have a child, and I don't know if you've even noticed this. A woman can have a child, and it's a baby girl. The man is happy. The man is happy if she has a boy. But after a while of the woman taking care of the boy, the husbands become resentful. They feel like the woman is not spending enough time with them. Yeah, it's happened. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but I think you women out there should notice this. Men like a lot of attention. I'm a man. I really don't like attention like that. I don't really, like I said, I could do me better than anybody can do me. So I don't need all that attention. But the reality is, if you really look at it, look at the scope. Men love their girls and their daddy's babies, right? But then when they have a boy, that's daddy's king. Yeah, he's my man. But if you start spending too much time with your son, and you're a woman, and you're not giving up You know, you're letting him come into your house and invading your house whenever he wants to, when he wants to, then he's going to become resentful. Okay? When a man starts to change on you and he starts to make love to you better than he ever did, something's wrong. When a man stops and always has an excuse, there's a problem. Okay? When you go out with a man and you notice that he's looking around the room, and you're looking around the room, follow his eyes and look around the room, and either he's eyeing another woman or he's eyeing a man. And you can always tell the difference by following his eyes. If the man starts to look to the right and all you see in the bar is just men, obviously he's looking for something there. Because you know what? We live in a society where all games are possible. Everything is open now. So people are doing this download stuff, you know, DL, being on the DL. What does it mean? Nothing. People just don't want to be associated with, well, I'm not really doing this, but in reality you are. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the men who do these things and women that go out of the marriages, I would say a big percentage of them come out sick. And not necessarily with HIV or syphilis, but I'm talking about, you know, herpes. Herpes is the gift that keeps on giving, honey. It does not stop.
It may depend on the woman's origin and story.
I agree. Okay. I agree. But this is where we're going back to generation. If your grandmother was taught, if you're in those days, like my grandmother's mother died when my grandmother was 12. So my grandmother, I think, got married when she was like 14. My grandmother had a lot of children, and in that age, you were a woman. And my grandmother went through a lot of stuff, believing that she deserved everything. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and a lot of it it can be traced back. And it's something that you see or something you're taught. Some women were taught to be seen and not heard. That you're supposed to take care of your man like he's the king, and you're supposed to feed him, and you're supposed to take care of them and make sure. But then, meanwhile, you stay home and you cook the meals and do that. But that shit does not exist. It hasn't existed for many, many years. Women have been making more money than men, and they're still taking care of men, and men are only giving them 60%, and women are accepting the 60% because that's what they feel that they deserve. And not necessarily because they feel like that, because sometimes that is what they've seen growing up or what society has painted for them.
Right. That's what Arlene was saying. That's true. So, and Sister Marion says she has noticed exactly what you were saying about the boys. So, and I don't want to mess up his name. Brother Yusuf Israel. Israel.
Well, about possession. Let me tell you something. One thing I've learned about possession. I can't talk for myself because honestly, anybody who tries to possess me, well, you know what? I can't say that because when I was very young, I don't know. I lost my mind. Like I said, young people are stupid these days. Technology, no, really, not to be mean, but technology is ruining their lives. You know, everything they're learning it from the computer, or they're learning it from TikTok, or they're learning it from these games, these virtual games. The reality is this: when a man becomes too possessive of a woman, there's a problem. When a woman becomes too possessive of a man, there's a problem. Right. Because women get beat, but men get beat as well. Just men are too embarrassed to talk about it. But I'll tell you one thing. I made this a number one rule when I was a teenager. You touch me, I don't give a shit if you're a man or a woman, I'm going to beat you. Because if you're going to touch me, you better be prepared to get hit back. Simple as that. That's the way it is. So for you, my brother, I'll tell you this. Possession is insecurity. If you start to possess the person and you start becoming like semi-stalker, or they start becoming semi-stalker, that's because something is wrong and something is happening behind the scenes. If they're blaming you that you're having an affair, it's because they're probably having an affair or they're thinking about having an affair. And 80% of the time, if you look at it, it's probably somebody you know. That's reality. That's the reality of life.
Wow. Okay. Now, let's see how I seen some bad relationships, and we're talking about generation and my mother's generations and before them. Like you said, it was kept in the closet and you didn't talk about it. If the abuse was at the parent or the children, is kept silent. Then it happened in the school that they told you you better tell because now it's child abuse. So then they had you ratting out your parents, even though it was not abuse. You was just getting your butt spanked and being disciplined. And there's a difference between abuse and discipline. And there's a fine line. Like we said before, one time again, I used to have to pick my own switch too. So back in the day, you went to the bush and picked a switch, and you just go get the tiny, tiny one. Them tiny ones hurt even worse. And sometimes, if they too tiny, they make you go back and get another one, and they braid that thing up. Woo!
Honey, it wasn't on these switches. I remember getting hit by telephone wire. My mother used to pull it out the damn wall, and she will beat you until your skin have welts over them, all over them. Yes, that was I don't know if it happened with black parents, but I know a lot of Hispanic parents, they did that shit. They took the extension cord or the phone cord and ripped it and beat you.
Okay. All right. Well, I remember beating someone, got a real bad one with an extension cord with getting out of the water, out of the tub. That's not me, not me. I'm one of those. Ooh, no, no, no. Okay, so they're getting into the relationships of some of that, but let's talk about communication. A good way to communicate with in a relationship that is healthy is being honest, first of all, talking and learning how to talk but not talk at. Sometimes we're good, but we're so ready to talk, we're not listening. We're not actively listening, we're actively talking. You know what I mean? Like
I do. I really do. And then that's true. I agree with that.
Okay. So, well, we got a lot of people. They're making a lot of comments. Thank you,
But
ladies and gentlemen.
But there's a difference between talking to someone and talking to them about something and talking directly to them,
Right.
like if they're a child. And that's what happens in a lot of relationships. When women get so riled up, and I'm not trying to mock women because, I think you are all beautiful. But I think that a weakness is if you have a problem or you know that something is happening, never go by somebody else's opinion saying, I saw your husband doing this. No, always go by what you see, by what you know, facts, always facts.
Mm-hmm.
And don't jump to conclusion all of a sudden and have a conversation. If the person ignores you and doesn't want to talk about it, then there's a problem. But you have to know and hear that the best key to everything is communication. And
Right.
ladies, okay, and gentlemen, if your wife, if you meet a man and the man has a woman and he leaves that woman for you, what makes you think you're different? And for you women who, hey, I'm not that everybody has to make money, but if you met the woman in a bar and she's a pole dancer, and then you start taking care of her, but she's not making the income she was, what makes you think she's not going to go back on the pole? If you believe that she's not, then you're an idiot. And that's reality.
Well, same thing. Well, men being a pimp, it's out there selling drugs and whatever. You know what I mean? A hustler. And they get somebody. I had a friend talk about being in a relationship. It was a young boy going to college, met this woman that was a dancer that was a little bit older than him, decided to take care of him. And what happened is that the young man uh, went to school. She said, let me take care of you. Let me do this. Let me do that. Moved him in the house. And then all of a sudden, the dynamics of the relationship changed. She became more possessive because now she had him where he wanted. He's not working anymore because he met her at work. Okay. and now he's just going to school. So now I'm wheeling you in. So those are things like that that you need to be careful of, that you have a balance in your relationship and that you're not taking advantage, because even in our generation, some women have taken care of men, of helping them become police officers, lawyers, and doctors. And then when they get that degree, some of them leave them for, as they say, we're going to upgrade because now I don't want you. You got me here through the hurdles and the stuff, and you spranked your money. And now I want to leave you because I think I deserve something better beyond you. So those are the things you want to make sure that it's all time equal. And I'm saying, be honest, men and women in your relationships about that, where you're going, support each other. Um, okay, I acquire my listening skills. We get a lot of stuff. I acquired my listening skills when I was very young. How do you teach people to be better listeners?
By keeping your mouth shut, sitting down and just listen. Unless
Well,
you're like Donald Trump, that you can't keep your mouth shut. But most of the time, all you got to do is sit down and instead of opening your mouth, program your mind to say, you know what? Let me just listen to everything this person has to say and work it out. Just remember, you should never want someone to do to you what you would not do to them.
Ashe.
Just do that. Just think about that. And women, look, I'm a man. I like men, but I'm a man. And trust me, one thing I will tell you is we're stupid. We're not the smartest bunch. We're really not. So we don't ask for much. We really don't ask for much. The reality is we ask for attention, love, show us some affection. Me, technically, I don't really care about all that craziness. Feed us every now and then, and vice versa. We'll give you what you give us, like a puppy. But when you start ignoring men, trust me, men will act the way they do. And sometimes if you want to talk to them, sometimes I think that you ladies wait too long. You wait until things escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate. And by the way, Saadia, my friend Saadia was on there. You saw you. I know you.
My mom would throw
a long
shoes at
time
her.
ago. Yeah, she used to say my mom threw shoes. Yeah, my mom threw shoes too. But what I'm telling you is, like, women wait till the last minute. Women, well, you can ask a woman, your friend, you can say, is everything okay? They'll say everything is fine when they know it's not fine. You
Right.
women out there, when there's a problem, you need to address it. You need to talk about it, because let me tell you something. As a man, I am the nicest person you ever want to meet. But when the devil comes out, and I don't give a shit who it is. So if I feel this way, imagine how straight men are with women. I've seen a lot of abuse. So we need to really learn to communicate well.
And this is a skill that you can teach your children. You start young with them on how to communicate with you. So when you're young, you sit down and talk clearly, not because some of us like they babble, mumble, mumble, mumble. And it was Willy Wonka. Remember?
Yeah.
If you ever watched Willy Wonka, I don't understand because you mumble.
Yes.
And he's like, what? Blah, 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 blah. I don't understand because you mumble. And that's what I think about when my children thought they would rather be abused or punished than me sit down and talk and give explanations. That's what they used to say. And I used to raise 3 of them. I had my niece and my daughter, my son, and somebody else's child. I was the person that always come to my house, but I would say, well, how are you feeling? Let's sit down. Let's talk about emotions or what's going on. Or, and me being intuitive, I would try to figure out what's going on with my children or the people in my environment so that I can know what they're dealing with. You know what I mean? Like the young lady that I was raising her mother had schizophrenia, but she also wind up being bipolar. And I sensed something was wrong, but also there was underlying abuse at the time as well. And when you sense that, I wanted to go to therapy right away, meaning I didn't want her on a pill. But the first they wanted to put, well, let's put her on Prozac. Are you serious? This child is 16. What about sitting down talking? What about counseling? What about group? Blah, 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 blah.
But
So
that is the world that we're living in. Unfortunately, it is the world that we're living in, and we see it every day. And unfortunately, one of the biggest issues, and you know this to be true, mothers in our generations, they were women before they were mothers. They wanted to make sure the man was home. So therefore, what we've learned, our behavior was the same way, feeling like we needed to have someone there to co-sign for us all the time. Yeah. And it still goes
I
on.
was the opposite. Well, I'm the opposite because I didn't need that. And
Well,
I
neither
don't
did
know.
we.
I think, right. I became the opposite of what I was shown in a lot of different ways in my family. Number one, be strong, be independent, don't wait. That's what my brother said to me. The men you're gonna meet, you're not gonna meet, and this is his wording. A black man is not going to accept you. You're too ambitious. You're too goal oriented. You're a go getter. You don't wait. You're impatient, and you get what you want before anybody. By the time they come in your life, they want to know what can they do for you. And I was like, ooh, what about being a man and being able to stand up? And I had a young man. I had a man like that, and he was older, and he transitioned in 2007. And he let me know I was too busy raising boys to be a man, and it's not a woman's job to raise a grown man to be a boy, a boy to be a man. He's already a man. You don't do that. And I was like, well, getting on my soapbox and like, well, I'm used to this. And that was true. But he showed me what a man does. You don't have to tell a man, well, babe, this is our house. We got a house together. He comes in and he knows his job and his role. Okay, babe, we're going shopping. You're not just shopping for me. You're shopping for the whole family. Let's go shopping together. Are you doing this? Let's do this together as a family. That, in my eyes, is a true man. And that's why my standards for a man is high. Ali set the standard very, very high. They set the bar very high for me. And we did everything together. So that relationship was good, but it also, I'm not going to say it was all peaches and cream because he did one thing. And I told him, long as you ever come in life, he called me the B word and I threw a knife at him. Missed him by this much. This much.
Like I
But
said,
I was young.
like I said,
But he
you
was
treat
59.
people the way you want them to treat you.
Yep.
Okay, but the first time a man calls you out of your name, the first time, or if a woman calls you an MF for no reason at all, then you know what? It's time to really analyze the relationship you're in and decide if you want to stay or if you want to go.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, you don't need to be treated like garbage from anyone. If you don't tolerate it in the street, why are you going to tolerate it in the home? You know what I'm saying? Because it is the mother, unfortunately, and it's sad to say, mothers are the ones who create the boys. Mothers mold the boys. The fathers play football with them. They take them out. They do whatever. They go fishing. Some fathers, unfortunately, go hoeing and take their sons because they believe they're teaching them how to be a man. And in reality, what you're doing is you're breaking them. You're breaking them because they grow up to be fucked up men and don't know how to treat women. They treat them like shit. And they believe that that's the way you're supposed to treat women, the way you treat their mom. So then they have no respect for their mamas either because they believe that, well, you're letting dad get away with it. Well, I don't have to listen to your shit. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, that's when you have to say, you need to go. You really need to go.
He said, true, treat the person how you want to be treated. If you don't get that respect, kick them to the curb.
Amen.
Right. Amen, amen.
Check them all the time. Check them. But also be ready to be checked yourself.
There you go. There you go. Always. That's what I love. Yeah. She said, if a person calls you out the name, it's best to check them. And I did. I checked them with a knife. My sister was like, you did what? And then I explained to him, and he was like, well, the way he grew up, it was okay. But I knew his background and he worked on it because he realized he had come from abusive background. And then we got into it that he abused other women. And he said, I knew not to try that with you because he ran into my son. And my son told him, you don't know my mother. You'll be gone in a split second. Now, this is a little tiny person telling him that. And like, you'll be gone. And he said, I kind of like you.
Yeah, but the thing is this, okay? What Arlene? The problem is this: is if a man calls you out of your name and you don't check them, they will at that moment. Don't wait a week later to say, "Oh, well, you know what? The other day we had an argument and you really hurt my feelings." Well, guess what? That shit happened a week ago. You need to address the problem then and there. And if you address the problem and he does it again and you deal with it, then you're stupid. I'm sorry. That's the only word to use, stupid. Because nobody is that important where they have the right to call you out of your name, especially if you're a grown woman. You're not a child. You're not their child.
I don't play.
Women, let me tell you something. You women, you don't realize how powerful you are. You have one weapon that these men need. You know what it is? I'm not even going to say it. It starts with a P. And that is so damn important. You got magic. You don't need a magic wand. We do. You don't need a magic wand. You already have Pandora's box. And that alone is all you need. True.
I like that. So, how do you cultivate getting to know someone where they're cultivated in, you become united? How do you cultivate that like you become?
The first thing I would tell people is when you're starting a relationship, don't talk about your ex. Never talk about your exes. Never talk about the drama, because if you're talking about the drama you've been through, that means you never healed. That means you're still healing. So you got to heal. Get yourself some therapy, because I believe in therapists. Get help. Get to know you first, and then you start working on a relationship. But if you don't want to do that, my thing is always be honest. Don't lie about yourself. Always tell the truth. If you look, if you're like a man with a big penis, then you tell him, look, I like big penises. I'm sorry, you ain't doing it for me. Don't go to bed with him and then just take it and say, oh, well, he's nice. And deep down inside, you're saying, damn, but I wish you had a bigger penis. No, it's okay. Just be real. You're not doing it for me. I like you. I think you're a great human being, but not for me. Let's be friends. It's simple. Life is not that complicated. We make it more complicated than what it is because we don't communicate.
All right now.
And the truth is always key. Always. Never be afraid to tell the truth. If you start off with the truth, you can end the relationship without getting your ass kicked with truth. Simple.
I like that. It said that needs to be discussed while you're dating. So, which is true. All of this needs to be discussed while you're dating, because when you're dating, it's an interview. For me, dating is a courtship. It's an interview to marriage. I'm not dating just to date and have fun. I'm dating for a relationship. There's a difference, because when we're young, we look at relationships different. But for me, I look, like I said, the world different. I was looking for a partner because my goal as a young kid, I wanted a legacy. And I wanted to leave a legacy. And how did I do that? I was going to deal it with my partner and my children, and they were going to build that legacy. So I was not looking for your average Joe Schmo that, oh, this is what we're going to do. No, this is what we're building. This is what, so we got to have a strong foundation. That's me.
The foundation is not two people. A foundation can be one person, which is, since I've known you for many, many years, you have always been the foundation, but you have also been the walls of your home. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very good way to start. Now, communicating, what he said is true. It starts when you first start to date. You have to set ground rules. You have to let people know what you like and what you don't like. Look, I say it all the time, and before I was ashamed for many years to say it, but I say it now all the time. I'm bipolar. First thing I tell people is I'm bipolar. Don't talk to me early in the morning, start talking shit, because that's the worst thing you could do. Worst thing you could do. Just let me do my thing, take my pills, let me relax, let me drink my coffee. Like I said, coffee with Ori. Let me drink my coffee. Let us conversate nicely. Let me cook for you. Let me take care of you. Shut the fuck up. When I'm finished taking care of you, then you can talk. It's simple. but I bring it out from the beginning. And I agree.
Right.
In a relationship, when you're courting, there should always be an understanding. There should always be boundaries that should not be crossed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when a man
Right.
starts to ask you, well, how many men have you been with? You know what? That's none of his damn business. And if you sit there and tell him, well, I've been with 30 men, you know what? You're a fool. Because down the line, when he argues with you, he's going to call you a whore. That's the first thing they do. So at the end of the day, if a man asks you, how many men have you been with? 2. In my whole life, 2. Even if you went to bed with 50, 2 is the number. 2. Because men can sleep with whoever, with a woman, with a man, with a cat, with a dog, and they will say, oh, me? No. I haven't been promiscuous. And a woman will believe them. So why would a woman have to open up so much and tell a man, oh, well, yeah, this is what I've done. This is who I've been with. Why? Learn that from the beginning. Don't be an open book. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to spread something open, let it not be the book. Let it be something else that you're both going to enjoy, but not the book. The book stays closed.
Okay.
Look, Dr. Angela, she's very down to earth. I've known her for many years. She's not one to curse a lot. I do, because life has taught me that being nice and being proper doesn't really get you far. It really doesn't. So I don't really give a shit. I enjoy the comfort of people, and I like talking to people about things that I have knowledge in and she has knowledge in. So we both feed off of each other, but she's so kind and so loving. And until the devil comes out, trust me, that little thing you see right there, she's cute and all, but when the devil comes out, trust me, the devil comes out. Yeah.
Shut it down. So that's why I like to communicate and be kind.
Amen.
So that's really is a blessing. So now now my thing done went up. Got so many people on my thing. Like, okay. I like that we did the positive and we did the boundaries.
And we did the negative.
Right. And some of us don't know where our boundaries are. So how do you know? How do you define or figure out what your boundaries are?
How do you determine what's a boundary?
Yeah, because some people go off in their personal space. You know what I mean?
Okay,
but
let me give you the first boundary. If you're a woman and you're alone and you have children, first boundary is no man should touch your children. No man. 1. 2, if you have small children and you date someone and you're with them for 3 months, don't leave your children in a house with someone you do not know. Because if you only know him 3 months, your children know him less. Okay, so think about the things that you do before you do them. Don't move a man into your house right away when you meet him just because he's saying, oh, well, I think we should move in together. Yeah, what he's saying is, I think we should move in together. You're still going to pay the rent. I help you pay the cable. I help you pay the cable. He ain't saying he's going to help you pay the rent. And they tell you half. I'll pay half of what? Half of the phone bill and half of the cable, because the cable you're going to be watching it 99% of the time. Okay? So, and if you're going to pay your insurance, he's going to pay your insurance. Why? Because if he puts you on his insurance and your driving record is better than his, then the deductible is low. See, it's like women don't think about these things, but they should. And you know what, men? You too. Because there's a lot of women out there that are really, really, really sucky. I mean, I've had my share of friends, and I to this day, I know a lot of women that do some ratchet shit, and they still do it. But you guys need to set boundaries, and respect is the biggest key. If someone shoves you or pushes you from the first day or the first time they do it, you need to walk away. Don't pretend that it's not going to happen again. First is a shove, then it's a push. Then it's a pull, and then eventually he'll slap the shit out of you, and slapping becomes punching, and punching becomes kicking. And nobody deserves that.
Right.
So those are boundaries.
Okay. I like that, because we need to know. A lot of women do that.
But the children are first. Remember, the
Yes.
children are the most important because that's what people forget. Women these days, they want to date and they leave their children at home with a sitter. You know what? That's your child. You had that child. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go out on a Sunday. Take your child to your mother's house or to your sister's house and go out on a Sunday, and then, slowly start, going out with that person and your child out, not in your house, out. So that
Mm-hmm.
person can understand and meet the person you're with, and they can get comfortable. But don't just force some child to accept you bringing a man into the house. I know women who have had many. Do you remember this? In the old days, it was uncle. Oh, this is Uncle Bob, or this is Uncle Robert. It was always uncle. Okay, nowadays women are bold enough to say, "Well, call him daddy." Bitch, he ain't my daddy. My daddy was last week. And then it was the week before. So I had 3 daddies. Think about things that people don't think about.
See, I was fortunate, in my way of life. It was dysfunctional, but it's fortunate. I had a Miss Ruby. I had a Miss, what's her name? Miss Leslie. I had a Miss Kelly. I had a I'm trying to think of the name, Miss Jackie. These are the young ladies that watched me as a kid and my brother, and they were all brought something wonderful to the table. Um, Not knocking my mother, but she could not make breakfast. Fix your face, fix your face, fix your face. Um, she could not make breakfast. Miss Ruby could cook her butt off. She was the one that taught me about palm readings and let me know how special I was with my gifts. She was the one that made facials with egg whites and just separate the egg whites and put it on your face and wiping your face with lemon juice, or put mayonnaise in your hair, or wash your hair with beer and stuff like that. She was that type of lady. She fry up some pork chops and she forever use pepper. She was the pepper lady. And always, she could tell you from New Orleans, Miss Ruby would put some chicory in that coffee. If it didn't make your hair stand up on your chest, if you didn't, but she could make some beans and rice, so she could throw down. Um, so I was fortunate. Um, Miss Leslie taught me about communicating. So from each person that was in my life, they taught me different things. My dads, like I said, I've had 3 dads in my life. And to me, they were incredible, awesome. My dad, my first dad taught me about seeing and respecting, and was part of a van club and took me to the van club and dared you to talk to me. Now I was built like a brick house at 13, but was still a virgin. He told me and showed me what they do to certain women and those things. So that kind of like prepared me like, what? And the other dad was in the motorcycle club. So I had it: van club, motorcycle club, police officer, military, you name it. So I got that. He was the one that took me out to drink, which was a good relationship. So I would not get hurt in the military. That was his assumption. Let me protect my baby before she go in and someone does something to her in boot camp. I made life miserable for my boot camp sergeant because of how I was, because I was trained. That's the relationship I had. They wrote him a letter talking about how bad I was and what did they needed to do. He was laughing. He said, as I read the letter, I was laughing, but it wasn't nothing I could do because I was the one to do. I watched him be a drill sergeant on the weekend. So I got to see what most people. So I had a good relationship with my dad. He taught me how to walk in heels properly and bought me the heels and made me walk. You want to wear them? Let me show you. Put the book on my head and made me walk back and forth. So to me, that was a beautiful thing. Having that relationship with him and having a relationship. I had positive role models in my life. I didn't come like everybody said, from a split home until later on in life. But I always came from a two-parent home. But I always had positive male role models in my life. I also had females and different aunts because my dad's friend was an aunt, an uncle, that's Aunt Kathy. That was my dad's best friend. That's my Uncle Kenny. That was my dad's best friend. And my mom. We all is a little growing up together. So that's how I viewed everybody had relationships like that. Okay. We got to wrap this up. It's getting good too. So I was blessed. And that's the kind of relationship I wanted to create for my children, that they would have, even if they were not family, they would be blood related, and that they could talk with each other and be able to be involved with them and help them. And that's what you cultivate with the children. You help me, raise my children and say some things I can bounce stuff off of you. And they're like, okay, that's not crazy. That's good. Where the average person like, girl, please. To me, that was wonderful. That understood what I call my madness, because I was so direct with my children, and I have standards, and they were high for me. My standards on myself, I could at my time be my own worst enemy because I think I wasn't trying hard enough. I thought I could do better, but I always had that, like, you don't need to be like that. It's okay to relax. And I'd be like, well, if I relax, then this stuff is not going to get done. How's it going to get done? And I'm on A type person. I was A type personality once upon a time. I'm not like that anymore. I am not OCD
Yes,
anymore.
you
No,
are. Yes,
no, I'm not.
you are. You have not changed. You're a drill sergeant. You have not changed. You are still the same.
Cancel. The stone says we're canceling.
We can
Cancel.
cancel whatever we want, but you know what, guys? You guys out there, it's been really real. I like the cooperation and the fact that you guys actually wrote in today. I will, if you want to continue this particular segment, we can. If you want to think about something else that you want to talk about, anything, because I know a little bit about a lot of things. And I'm just going to give you my opinion, however it comes out. So whether you give a shit or you don't give a shit, we'll talk. Dr. D'Angelo is going to talk to you more sophisticated because that's what he is. And that is
Okay. Okay, darlings. I want to say thank you for coming. But guess what? I want y'all to stay tuned on 10/24/2020. We will be having a psychic fair. It will be from 9 a.m. Pacific Central Time until 2:30 Pacific Time. Eastern Time, you got to look, it starts at 12:30. So it's 3 hour difference there. So you're going to be able to call in. And like I said, I will give you that special number an hour before you can go, so you can call in on the lines and be able to speak to us live. So it'll be a specific number. As you see, stay tuned. If you like what you hear, I would like you to go to YouTube and subscribe. If you like it and you want to find out information on Facebook, go to Food Alchemy Network on Facebook and go to Dr. Cicely D'Angelo, PhD, med physician, and you will find me, or Dr. D'Angelo, PhD, and you will find me. Oh, thank you. He said, good broadcast. Thank you.
And I will be reading for free 3 cards.
Yeah, yes. He'll be doing a 3 card reading. He will be part of the show. We have Nikki Love. We have oh my gosh, I have so many different people. Stay tuned. They're all on the timeline. Go look for the future shows. Please sign up. And if you want a reading, you'll be able to come in, comment just like this. We're going to be trying to take some readings like the same way I'm working the board while people are doing readings, and transcribing the best I can as fast as I can. So that's me doing it all. And we also have Arlene that's going to be on there. So she's going to be also a reader for the 24th this Saturday. So Saturday promised to be very exciting. It's worth getting up. It's worth getting your tea, your coffee. Even if you walk away, you're going to see some exciting things, people on the Food Alchemy Network. If you also like what you hear, it's also being broadcast on Food Alchemy Network on Blog Talk Radio. Also, I just found out we're on something called Castbox. We're also on Spotify on Food Alchemy Network. So we're like doing the darn thing. So we're getting live and we're getting all of the stuff. And it's gearing us up for some exciting stuff that I'm hoping that I will be able to tell you in November or December that is going to be, you're going to be like, ah, you want to be part of this. You want to stay tuned. I want to hear your opinion. And if you want to write, you can always go to the website because we got something going on. Ori is an intuitive coach, life coach, and does readings and help you make that shift. I'm Dr. D, a med physician. I help you get in balance with your whole self, mind, body, and soul. So I want you to take a listen, subscribe, ring that bell, ding-a-ding, ding, ding. And also, so we can get a daily alerts, make it go black. When you make it go black, it'll give you all the things that goes on daily and the updates. We're having a lot more live streams. And then I have something for recipes for people that are vegan. Just look out for there. And also my trips around the world. I won't say the world, but Southeast Asia in particular, and also in Mexico. I like to travel. Oh, let's see. Oh, I didn't say I'm in love. Oh, sorry, I'm late. Just got in from work. Oh, that's from
Hey
you.
Jessica, how are you? Hope you're okay. Hope everything is well.
So she's like, that's what she's up worry. So I thank you. I want you to subscribe. Stay tuned. Oh, next Monday. Sorry. Coffee with Ori. We have a special guest. This is our first guest to the round table. How exciting is that? That is going to be none other to Lester Loving. Yes. And we're going to get down and nitty gritty. He is an elder and he talks about pyramids. And I'm going to be showing y'all something about pyramids. I'm just like,
Jap, I want to say thank you for being for involving yourself so much in this program today. Yes. The gentleman,
yes,
that was on, and Jessica, much love like always. This is going to be on YouTube.
This is on YouTube.
You can catch it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Go back to the broadcast and it's going to upload after we finish. And you can also go on Facebook and watch it. And I'll send it to you from my Facebook page. And if you like, you're in there, you can go back and see anything. So if anybody had any questions, you can always go back. And we're just going to have a party. I'm telling you, this is, woo, we got so much stuff lined up for this channel. Y'all going to be like, ooh, blow it out the door. Woo, woo, woo. I'm just saying. Can you tell? Oh, I'm getting hot. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. I feel like Nelly has a song going on. Okay, everybody.
We need a commercial before we leave.
Yeah, we're gonna do our commercial. It's gonna say good night, all. Y'all want to listen?
Welcome to Food Alchemy Network, and you taking the time to relax with us. I want to wish you a blazing, blissful, wonderful time of return. I want to show you my appreciation from my heart for you taking the time out of your day and keeping me company on this train of knowledge to the other galactic, to the other side of the universe. Thank you for being part of Food Alchemy Network. Food Alchemy Network, thank you. And again, I thank you for allowing me to sit in the seat and accompany you and share your source of information and giving it your most higher, supreme understanding, overstanding, and all of that above. So thank you, my illustrious guest. Food Alchemy would not be anything without you, my audience. Stay tuned, come back, and we hope to show you a rocking good time on Food Alchemy Network. with Dr. Cicely D'Angelo, and we'll take up that information as a suggestion. Blessings to all and blissful meaning and late stars from my galaxy to the comet that flies in the sky.
All right, my loves. We out of here.